Before you left, I was talking about confidence and masculinity. What's the difference between being confident and being masculine? Did anybody think about that a little bit? What are the qualities of confidence? What are the qualities of masculinity? Can anybody tell me?
Masculinity is more strength.
Okay. In what way, though? I think they both have strength in a certain way.
You can be more aggressive.
Okay,
The
so
opposite of feminine.
which is more aggressive? Confidence or masculinity?
Masculinity.
Okay, interesting way to look at it. In what regard is it more aggressive? You ever met a masculine guy that doesn't do much?
If you're confident, you're masculine.
Hmm?
If you're confident, you're masculine.
Not necessarily. I've seen masculine guys. We've had masculine guys go through our programs that aren't doing anything with their lives. Well, I had one that worked in oil derricks. He worked on oil platforms, and he's like, my life's going nowhere. He's depressed. He wasn't taking any action. Scared to approach women. But standing there, he's just uber masculine guy. So he wasn't aggressive at all, but he was uber masculine. You ladies know what I'm talking about? They can be,
Effort?
huh?
Like what? Effort?
Brian,
Effort. What do you, say again?
Brian, you're saying that his presence.
His presence, his beingness was masculine. Yeah.
So maybe like vulnerability is missing in the masculinity?
He was actually a fairly vulnerable guy. He just had he didn't have any confidence. He was a masculine guy with no confidence, huh?
When you're confident, you're not masculine?
No. Have you ever met a really feminine guy that's uber confident?
Gays.
Yes.
There you go, gay men. Yeah, there's some gay men out there that'll say anything to anybody, do whatever they want. Super feminine. Not all gay men are feminine. Some gay men are very masculine, but there's some very feminine gay men that are uber confident. There's some very effeminate people, male or female, that are very confident, right? A woman can be really confident. Doesn't necessarily mean she's masculine. So what is the real difference between the two? And that I think that needs to be understood. When you came in the door, what did I tell you? I said you've got a lot of masculine energy, but you're not utilizing it. Remember that?
It's getting better.
Yeah, but no. Well, what's this last week been like for you?
Amazing.
Yeah. Why? Well, all these women are showing up in your life now. Yeah, because you turned on your confidence. You put it together with the masculine. And so just because you guys are in here, it doesn't mean you're missing masculine. It means you might not be using it. You might not be utilizing what you have. So the way I look at it, masculine energy is great at grounding situations. They're great at like, if you ever met a guy who's very masculine, has a family, he takes care of the family, he shows up, he provides, he's steady, he's consistent, he has a solid container, he's present for the situation, but he doesn't do much else. He's not growing himself, he's not expanding. He's a good man, very masculine man, respectable man, but he's bored, and his life isn't growing. He's not taking action. He's not stepping into Do you see what I mean, guys? So he has a certain ability with tension. Very grounding guy. Does everybody know what I mean by grounding? Grounding. So grounding, we talked about what tension is, right? Grounding is your ability to handle tension. So if I slap you on the chest really hard, do you ground that like a lightning rod, or do you react to it and get all jittery about it? You see what I mean? And get all reactive to it. And let's say a girl yells at you and says she's mad at you for some reason. Do you ground that, receive it, deal with it, or do you get reactive and lose control? Same basic idea. Handle it in whatever way it needs to be handled. Like, say, she yells at you, and you might just be grounding it and be non-reactive because it's not a big deal, whatever. Maybe it's some girl in a nightclub and you're like, whatever. But maybe it's your girlfriend and she's yelling at you for not showing up somewhere. Do you step into that tension and meet her in it, consciously and proactively? Or do you run from it and get reactive to it, get super defensive? It might even mean disagreeing, but if you do it proactively, that's powerful. Reactively, it's not. So masculinity is very grounding. Like a lightning rod grounds a lightning, Think of the lightning as feminine and the lightning rod as masculine. Think of mountains as feminine, as masculine. Think of the wind that beats the mountains as feminine or caresses the mountains. Think of the riverbanks as masculine. Think of the river as feminine. Think of a picture frame as masculine. Think of the picture as feminine. And so the picture is a really good one because if you take a picture, why is the frame masculine?
It contains.
Yes. Those thing's not on, is it? So it contains, it protects, it creates a container. So this is the frame. The art, the expression, is the feminine. It's what expresses and creates an emotional response in you. Feminine always creates emotional response. Masculine is the container. It manages the flow of that emotional response. Without a container, the picture could not be there. It would have to fall down, dissipate, whatever. If the frame was there without a picture, it would just be a frame. It wouldn't have any purpose. Okay. The picture will always push on the edge. That's testing. Anybody ever been tested by a woman before? Raise your hand. I think everybody can raise their hand. Okay. So the feminine will always test wherever the masculine feels weak, wherever the frame feels weak. She'll poke, push, prod, and that teaches you to have a stronger frame. You wake up in that. If you get proactive with those tests, you grow as a man. You become a stronger frame. If you grow bigger than the picture as the masculine, let's say your frame gets bigger, you're going to, in an unconscious way or conscious way, you're going to constantly be asking that picture to grow, to expand, to meet you. You're going to want more feminine. And so that's where you're challenging each other. If you have a frame like this and you meet a girl that expresses feminine to this degree, you're not going to be a match long term. Because your masculine she's not going to challenge your masculine at all. It's going to be nothing to you. And just vice versa is the same thing. If her feminine is huge and you've got this little capacity of masculine grounding, you're not going to be a match either. There needs to be you need to be close to the same and growing together, pushing and pulling all the time. Is this connecting to you guys? Understanding a little bit? So that's that polarity. That's called a polarity. That polarity is going on everywhere. Light, dark is a polarity. Up, down is a polarity. Left, right is a polarity. For anything to exist in the 3D world, it's a polarity. And polarities are always drawn together. If you look at a piece of paper, you can't have one side without the other. It can't exist. It's impossible. That's why polarities have to exist in the 3D world. One can't exist without the other. You can't have this wall without the empty space to define it. Otherwise, the wall can't exist. It's impossible. It's one of the 7 natural laws. So masculine will always draw feminine. Feminine will always draw masculine. That's a natural law. If you are masculine, you will always be drawn to whatever size feminine. If your masculine is this big, you will draw feminine that matches that. Does that make sense to you guys? But masculine doesn't equal confidence. Masculine equals your capacity to ground, to create a container, to hold an intention over long term, like I'm going to take care of and raise my family, to hold that intention. So we'll say ground, contain, hold intention. Now, the word intention is an interesting word, isn't it? Because I always refer to, you guys notice that I'm always referring to the word tension. The word intention has the word tension in it. So what's the implication of that? Because if you look at it, people don't even realize that. If you are holding an intention, are you focusing on creating tension?
Yes.
Yeah. You have to be. That's the whole meaning of the word. I'm looking out there in the world, I'm going to create a business. I'm going to go out and go on a date tonight. There's tension in all that stuff. I'm in tension. Therefore, there's the tension. So the masculine has the ability to focus on an intention. Doesn't necessarily mean and hold an intention. But let's say confidence is the ability to go above and beyond the tension you're used to. Okay? Can be good at this stuff on a small scale or a big scale. That's an important one. Because you can be good at being the masculine in the different areas of your life. Maybe you're really good at being the masculine with women, but you're not good at being the masculine with money, being a grounding force with money and you lose it, or vice versa, and stuff like that. So this can pertain to different areas of your life too. So small scale or big scale is another one. Some guys are very good at showing up when there's a big problem. Let's say, for example, somebody's really upset. So let's say a girl calls you and she just lost somebody in her family, passed away, and you're good at showing up, being present, dealing with the situation. But then your everyday life sucks. Maybe you can't get up and you can't handle your laundry, you can't handle your basic bills, you can't handle your doing the dishes, and you're not good with basic everyday grounding your basic everyday life situation. That's almost more important than being good at the big stuff. Because if you're only good at the big stuff and you can't handle the little tension in the world, then you're going to have a lot of problems. So masculine, though, for the sake of this conversation, is all about grounding and containing. Okay? That's the whole purpose of masculine. What's confidence?
So if masculinity is the ability to ground and contain in the container of whatever size you have, then confidence would be the ability to expand it.
Yeah. Let's step out, take risks, push your boundaries. Yeah. Good way to put it. I didn't even write it that way, but I really like it.
There you go.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, well done.
Every once in a while it flows through me.
I thought you were writing a book.
It's all luck.
Yeah, it's really nicely said. Takes action in the face of fear and adversity. Takes action in the face of tension. Can step into tense situations and that are extreme, that are outside, say, his container, but then has the ability to step into them anyways and take action anyways. We get these guys as students all the time. They'll stand there in front of us. They're terrified, and we'll say, "Go talk to that girl," and they go, "Okay." And then you get the other guy comes in. He's not nearly as scared. You can tell. He's more grounding. But he's like, "No." And no, I'm not going to do it. And you're just like, okay, that's so you can see the difference. And the other guy's terrified, but he's willing to do it. So your fear level is not equal to your ability to do something. Some people will act in spite of a huge amount of fear. Some people won't act in spite of a tiny amount of fear. And confidence is what equals your ability to take action in the face of fear and adversity in tense situations. Confident guys can also bring tension where it's needed. Step into and bring it. For example, you need to create some tension in the moment. You need to deal with something. Maybe you need to go have a tough conversation with somebody and you're just scared to do it. And maybe you need to talk to somebody about something that's going on. Maybe it's an intervention. Maybe it's they're having a drinking problem. Maybe it's you need to break up with somebody. It's your ability to step in that tense situation and handle it and bring the tension to the situation and then ground it out. That's a lot of what approaching women is in bars. It's your ability to step in and step right into an uncomfortable situation and ground it in the moment with an unknown person, especially for guys that are first learning. Your ability to walk up and see this, a guy's ability, what's a guy's value to a woman? What's a guy's value to a woman?
Safety.
What is he?
Procreation.
Well, she could get that from she can purchase that nowadays.
Yeah, he says.
Huh? Yeah, on Amazon you can purchase that. Just have it sent to you in the mail.
Comes from China about home
Yeah. So, I think we got a comedy bit going on there. Yeah. We had another one earlier. Oh, come back to that. So a guy's value to a woman is his ability to ground and contain, his ability to manage tension. Because if he can ground, create, and manage tension, it's not that they can't. They can manage tension very well. A lot of women can. A lot of women, so there are women out there that are CEOs of huge corporations making millions of dollars. They're phenomenal at being masculine and stepping into tension. That doesn't mean they want to do it in their relationships. That means, as a matter of fact, some of those women might want to come home to a relationship where they can surrender all of that and be completely feminine. They actually would prefer that because they do it all day at work, right? So your value is your ability to create a container for her to surrender and be feminine too. But she's not going to surrender to your masculine unless she trusts it, unless the frame is solid. Okay? So your ability to do that is equal to the type of woman you're going to get. The smaller, the bigger. Do you see what I'm talking about? The stronger and bigger and more powerful your container is, the more powerful woman you can handle. The more powerful woman you can invite into your life that would like to surrender into that. And so that's really your value as a guy to a woman. And so when you walk up in a bar or you walk up on a dating situation, you want to meet a girl, it's going to be awkward. That's the whole point why the guys usually walk up to the girl, because it's a demonstration of your masculine, your ability to step into tension and ground. Let's say you walk up and let's say you even walk up very boldly and the moment's kind of awkward. Like, I'll give you two scenarios. You walk up and ask her the time. Hi, my name's Brian. What time is it? Oh, just wanted to, you're cute. What's your name? And you try to get to know her. That's one way, right? So how most guys start. Oh, really? Tell me more about that, And they kind of start from that place. And do you feel how there's a lack of tension in that? You're trying to get rid of all the tension, be super sweet, super nice. You're trying to, you're even backing away in the way you say the words. And it's sweet. It's not sweet. It's kind of boring, actually. But the intention is there. That is what I'm calling sweet. It's a nice, you're trying to be a nice guy. Now, picture the other guy. He walks up and makes things really awkward. And he says something, he walked up and it's just an awkward moment. Look at you. You're fucking beautiful. I just had to come over and meet you. There's something about you. And he holds that tension, stands in it, creates a container around it. And maybe she even looks at him funny and challenges him at first, but he stays non-reactive in the sense to the outcome. He just stays open and free. If she wants to reject me, she can reject me, and he means it. But I'm going to be honest with what I feel. And then she sees that he can handle all that tension because he handles it so well. He stays solid in that awkward moment. Are you demonstrating your value to women right there?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're demonstrating that value. That's why that approach works. Now, let's say you go over and say the same exact thing, but you don't contain it well. You go over and say, I just had, look at maybe you're nervous and shy, you're half turned away, you're not quite in the tension. You're like, hi, you're just fucking beautiful, I just had to come over and meet you. Oh my God, do you feel the difference already?
Huge.
Now, are you demonstrating your ability to contain her? In a way, you are. You're demonstrating your lack of ability to contain her. Okay? Okay? So why would she surrender her masculine and let you take it? If you can't. Now, she might, depending on where she's at. If she's got a smaller energy, you might be perfect for her. If she's got a bigger energy, more powerful energy, no. Because she's going to want somebody to match that energy level that she can dance with. Does this make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Okay, so that's why masculine is so important, and that's why confidence is important. Now, who here does fairly well on dating apps? or going out on, like, if you meet a girl online, you go out on a date, or just go out on a date in general. Who does fairly well with that, but not good with approaching? Okay. Who does better with approaching but doesn't do good long term? Anybody? Okay. Okay. So what that is, for anybody that does well, they say, oh, I can't meet a girl in person. It's really hard. But if I meet her online, or I get introduced, or I get set up, I do really well. What that typically is a lack of confidence, but a good masculine ability. So you got this good, solid, masculine, grounded energy, but when you first meet her, you get nervous, like the basketball game. And you need a little bit of time to calm down and relax. And so you got her trapped for an hour or two on a date. You got plenty of time to calm down and relax. Okay? But when you approach her and you got 5 minutes to impress her, you don't have enough time to calm down and relax. So you got this nervous, jittery wreck. That's all she sees. That's all she's got to make a decision on whether she wants to go out with you. And that's a whole different game, isn't it? So that's why understanding the difference between confidence and masculinity is so important. And knowing which one you have to build. He had to build more of his confidence than his masculinity. Okay? And so understanding which one you're working on is important. And some of you have to work on both, to be honest. I mean, a lot of guys do. It's really common, but you want to know what you're working on. Ability to expand container. Can bring tension. See if there's anything else I want to add to that. Leads confidence. You can lead even when things are difficult or outside your container. Can lead even, you may not do it perfectly, but the confident guy will go, I'll figure this out. It's bigger than my container, but let's give it a shot. It's bigger than what I'm used to handling, but let's give it a shot. That's how he grows. Okay. He goes for the tension that's put in front of him. You know, if it's bigger than his container. Same kind of idea. Can take action in the face of the unknown. This is another one that's really important with the confident guy. Takes action in the face of the unknown, or uncertainty is good. So this is where Richard Branson is so amazing. A lot of guys can't take action in the face of the unknown. They like their knowns. This is programming in human beings that's been going on forever. Is we love to stay in our knowns. Any animal loves to stay in its knowns. It doesn't like to leave its knowns until it's forced. If you look at, say you got a forest situation, and there's an abundant forest, a big stream or a lake where they drink from, plenty of food. Well, the animals in that area are probably going to stay in that area because it's abundant. But let's say it dries up, and it stays dried up for a while, and the lake starts to shrink, and it eventually disappears, and the grass dries up, and the animals start leaving. Eventually that animal, through pain, because its knowns was this place, but through pain has to venture into the unknown. Break down to break through. It has to have a breakdown, losing its home, to go find a new one. And then it'll find a new one, usually better than before if it survives, if it doesn't fight the process. If it fights the process, it can destroy itself. And that's how we evolve, that's how we grow. Humans are the only animals, I don't know if I should call us animals or not, but some people do, some people don't. Humans are the only creatures that can consciously say, everything's great right here, but I want to go over there anyways. No animals in the animal kingdom do that. They don't go venture out of I got all this abundance here, why would they leave? But we do. We do it all the time. I mean, that's why we have people like Dave trying to figure out how to wingsuit. I mean, it's not a normal human instinct to jump out of a plane with cloth on and try to fly. But there's no reason. There's no reason for that, right? And so, I was saying that it's not normal to jump out of a plane with cloth on and try to figure out how to fly, but we do it anyways.
Probably one of the dumbest things you could ever do. But it's fun.
Yeah. But you won't see an animal in the animal kingdom trying to do that. You won't see a monkey trying to figure out something that it's not built for. And it has to have a breakdown to break through. Well, most humans are that way too, until we reach a certain level of consciousness and we start to wake up to the fact. And when we start saying, I want to go over there, I want to try this, or I want to try that, we have that ability. We have to kind of wake up to it. But what we do is until we wake up to it, we tend to stay in our knowns. How many people do you know that never leave their hometown? They say they're going to, but they never actually do it. They lead the same, what's the life of quiet desperation, their whole life. And so being able to step out into unknowns and face the unknowns is one of the key abilities of all successful people in the world. Look at every billionaire, self-made multimillionaire, all do this. They say, you know what, it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to do this anyways. Elon Musk is another great example. I'm going to create an electric car when nobody succeeded at competing against all the major car companies in the world ever before, really, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to put all my money into it. Matter of fact, I'm going to go into a giant negative net worth and put all my money into eggs all into one basket, which every investor tells you not to do, and I'm going to do it anyways. And these are the things that of crazy people sometimes. I have Richard Branson. I'm going to take a hot air balloon. I'm going to fly it up into a jet stream, be the first person to fly a hot air balloon around the world without landing it. So that means he's taking it into the jet stream and he's dragging this hot air balloon at hundreds of miles per hour. That's how he flies it around the world. He has a team of guys on the radio telling him where the jet streams are, and then he floats up into them and it drags, just like along the jets.
He's doing that now.
No, he's tried it 2 or 3 times. He almost accomplished it once, and I don't think he quite did. He ended up crashing it, and he should have died. He really should have. He didn't.
How do you not die?
They landed in the ocean somewhere, and then they rescued him. They always had rescue crews ready to go wherever he was at, because he was on walkie-talkies. And so you know how the hot air balloons have baskets? Well, they don't have a basket. They had a contained pod with oxygen that they would sit inside. Him and this other guy, and they would ride in that contained pod because they can't breathe otherwise. And so he almost got shot down because you fly in jet streams, you can't control where they go.
Right.
So they end up in foreign airspace, and now they're being threatened, and all this crazy stuff happened to him. But he keeps fucking going. Is this guy good with tension? Is he good with confidence? Can he step into the unknown? Yeah.
Yep.
He's trying to start an airline against all the major airlines. And British Airways is determined to put him out of business. And they had put everybody else before him out of business, but somehow he survived. Different. Yeah, same guy. So he's done a lot of crazy stuff in his life. His autobiography really illustrates that he loves stepping in the unknown. His parents taught him that at a young age, to step into the unknown.